just tell me about this bill honoring Agent Raul Gonzalez.
Yeah, well, Michael, thanks so much for covering this. This is one of the bills I've introduced in the vein of border security. What we've been seeing is an increase in high-speed chases, especially in the area of Cochise County. That's something that I keep hearing from the sheriff, law enforcement there, the mayor as well, who I have a very good relationship with. And this high speed chase a crisis and dilemma is happening in neighborhoods. It's happening in areas where children play, people go shopping. So it's not just happening on the freeways, and there aren't enough penalties on the federal side to to really deter the behavior of these high speed chases. So the Raul Gonzalez Act basically it increases and enhances the penalties applied to people that are smuggling migrants and that are driving in these kind of situations, and then they hurt people. That's the worst part about it when innocent bystanders get hurt, and also the people being trafficked through rollovers and all this, they get hurt as well. So this bill enhances those penalties pretty severely against those smugglers if they cause an accident during those high speed chases.
Do you think you have the support from your fellow colleagues in Congress to be able to get this passed?
I do. It just passed Judiciary Committee, which was a big hurdle to pass this week. It passed on Thursday, I think it was yesterday, and we expect this to get on the floor pretty soon here. So I'll be working with Chairman Jim Jordan to make sure that this makes it on the floor quickly. I've been working with my colleagues that are not in that committee, getting their sense of this bill. It's a common sense bill. I wouldn't be surprised if we even get some Democrats to support it as well, but we'll see about that.
How do you think? I know this officer agent was killed during a high-speed chase. How do you think his family feels about this? I imagine it's an honor for them as well.
Well, I think that they should be very proud of the work that Agent Gonzalez did for our country. He died literally in the line of duty, doing his job in protecting our border. That's how he died. And they, I know, that are proud of his life and also his sacrifice for our country. This is a way that we can remember him, that we can honor him as well, and for others outside of his family and his immediate circle to know the sacrifice that he made. And I'm sure that if you talk to his family, what they would want is for this to not happen to anyone else, or to do every step possible to prevent this from happening. And I think this bill does both. It honors his legacy in remembering him and making his name permanent in this law, but also it helps prevent this from happening again.
Another border question, real quick. As you know, the seven mayors got together to write a letter to President Biden. And when I talked to the mayor of Douglas, he says that right now we really need just to stop people from getting in and let's figure out what the policy is. He says that's the prime thing needs to be done right now. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. That's exactly what's happening. I went to Eagle Pass a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to see that side of the border. I know our side pretty well, but I wanted to see theirs. And of course, there's differences in the geography, but there are also a lot of similarities. And talking to the chief of the sector there, I think he gave the perfect example. He said, "I'm being asked to manage a fire hydrant." He said, with more buckets. He said, "I don't need more buckets. I need to stop the flow. That's what we need." And what some people are advocating for are more resources for processing only, or more resources for housing or for transportation. The real solution to this problem is to stop the flow. You can't throw enough money at this problem. Communities can't sustain it. You're hearing from mayors that are both Democrats and Republicans, both here locally, but also mayors that you wouldn't expect to hear this from. The mayor of New York, the mayor of Chicago, mayors of sanctuary cities that just a year or two ago were bragging about their status of being a sanctuary city. Now, when it's actually applied, it doesn't work, and now they see that. So you're looking at the local resources being strained by this flow. That's just one of the negative impacts of it. But I absolutely agree that the number one thing we have to do right now is stop the flow, or else there'll never be a catching up period on this.
One of the things I also asked the mayor, I said, listen, you and the other mayors are kind of on the ground floor of this. You know what's going on. Are you able to? Is the White House really listening to you? About what's happening here, and I don't think he felt like they are.
I don't get that sense either. And the mayors are not alone on being dismissed in their feedback here. Obviously, I feel the same way as a member of Congress. We've passed legislation that deals with this issue in HR 2 that modernizes and it fixes the loopholes in the asylum seeking process. It has enforcement attached to that. It also has humanitarian help, but it has the enforcement side that is so necessary. Now, this is on the side of Congress, but I got to tell you, mayors are the boots on the ground. They're the ones that are dealing with this on day in, day out. They're seeing the street releases in their communities happening, the transportation leaving their communities, and them being impacted in every way possible. So one example are the high-speed chases that I just mentioned. So the mayors are definitely in the front lines of this. And if there's anyone at the White House and President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas should be listening to, it's the mayors and the local sheriffs as well.
Okay, so I'm done with this stuff. I think we're good. And now I need to ask you. Now, did you talk to? Uh, I'm assuming you know about the Public Protection Act.
Yeah. Of course, I'm a
Okay.
co-sponsor of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Just want to make sure. Okay. So, what is the Puppy Protection Act?
Well, this is an act that I'm proud to be supporting, along with my colleague and good friend Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania. We're a group of us are working on this project. And it's a bill that we are gathering enough support on, which is focusing on the care of our pets, and it really addresses the many breeders out there. I'm a puppy owner myself, a little corgi named Louie. We want to make sure that that they're raised the right way, that they're especially on those that are breeding the animals and that they're selling them, that the puppies have the right care as they're growing up. Simple things. This isn't anything that is rocket science. Things that should be done, like getting enough sunlight, enough human contact, area where they can move and exercise. We've all seen the really sad and terrifying images of puppies being encountered in small areas and not being able to be puppies and run around as some people are, of course, breeding them. So we want to make sure that they have all that they deserve and need on this, and that we do what's right for our puppies as well. And let me tell you this may surprise you. This is the number one issue that I get calls on my office: puppies and the care for them. So definitely CD6 cares about this issue. So it was no brainer for me to jump in and partner with Congressman Fitzpatrick on this to get this done and add protections for our puppies as well.
Okay, no doubt this is a dog town. So,
Dogtown for sure.
why do you feel lawmakers should support this?
Well, I feel like this is something that isn't even political. This is just something that I think every community has families, many thousands of families that are pet owners, and it's just not puppies, of course, all kinds of pets. I think it brings people together. One of those maybe a few things right now in Congress that you can find good bipartisan support around. This is one of the things about this job. You can be tackling spending issues and border security. In my case, also veterans, that we never take our finger off the pulse on that, and also these kind of acts that are good for the community. Not to mention renaming a post office, for example, for Senator Day O'Connor to honor her as well over in the town of Duncan. So these are all things that we can work on simultaneously.
I know you mentioned you've got a lot of phone calls to your office, but I do want to ask you this. Was there a particular incident or incidents that made you decide to co-sponsor this bill?
Like I said, the merits of the bill speak for themselves, and when I obviously also compare with the feedback that I'm getting from people here at home, it's something that my district wants us to tackle and be involved in. So not one particular instance necessarily. If you could say something that is personal, I would say that having a puppy myself and loving our little corgi, I mean that definitely influences on how you make decisions. And when I think of puppies getting the good care that they need, I'm thinking of our own Louis that I want him to, obviously be raised the right way, which we're doing here, but as other puppies around as well.